Alright gamers, today it's time to put on your racing pants and let's play Rush and Crush. Check it out. Alright, so as you can see, here is a sample of the board here. You can design the track any way you want. You can have a straightaway track, just a drag race. You can have a little circuit like this. All the boards are double-sided. It comes with billions of boards here. So there is a lot of options for you to make several different tracks in here. It gives you a few examples, but you can use your imagination. You can use all of it. I've seen huge boards on this. And also it gives you a starting finish token here, start and finish line. You can place the start and finish line wherever you want on the board, and wherever it is, I put it here, and I put my little cars, 1, 2, 3, right here. Now you can play up to 6 players. If you want to play more than 6, you have to get one of, another character. As you see, these little guys are a little tiny, but they're nice. They look really cool. And how can you determine between 2 red, That seems dumb. Well, I found out you could take off the brackets to these and mix and match them like I did with these two. If you can see that, both of them there just look slightly different than the other. And so if you're playing, you may want to mix open those brackets. They just come right off very easily and snap back on. So it's very easy to do if you want to customize your own little vehicle to run around. Speaking of customization, this game is all about that. You have several different ones to choose from, vehicles to choose from 3 different teams as you see here. You have the zombie team, the dream team, the cosmos team. You're supposed to pick one of each, and if you have more than 3 players, you can pick 2 of one. Also, these little things can cut out. The drivers, you can punch those out. Now, I haven't punched out any of these because I didn't see the point, because only red drivers can drive red cars. Well, that only gives me 4 different, just 2 different variants of the car. So I'm guessing they were thinking about bringing out expansions and letting you drive more than one. But see, a zombie team can't drive in a Cosmos car. So because of that, I haven't punched them out yet, but maybe I should. Eventually, I guess I will. So each vehicle is slightly different, and I'll explain the differences in a minute here. But first, let's just say I'm going to pick this guy off zombie team. Now, looking at these cards, if you see here, this icon means steering ability. This is for brakes. This is for turbo. This is special items with this car. For instance, this car has extra shielding, so it has 8 shields. And this one but this is your engine right here too. But it has extra shields and it has extra steering capability. That's what the microchip is for. If I look at this one, the one I picked, it doesn't have those extra shields or that extra steering. Why do I want it? Because it has something else good. It has this combat bumper, which means if I ram into someone from behind, I'm going to injure and hurt their shields. Also, it has landmines, and landmines are these little clear things, and so I can lay a landmine in there, and if they run over it, that's going to hurt their shields. So this is a lot more offensive. That's why I'm going with that one, because it seems like he'll tear them up. This one, of course, has nice stuff. Extra steering comes in handy, extra shields would come in handy, but I'm going to go with that one. Now, on this board, I'm going to place these clear tokens here, and I'm going to place them over the steering, the brake, and the turbo. Each are going to start at 6. Also, my shields will be at 6 and my engine will be at 0 because I'm not warming it up. As you see throughout the game though, as you take damage to your shields or your engine heats up, if any one of these clear tokens move over that skull, then your car just blow up. And believe me, cars are going to die in this game. You're probably going to die more than once. One other place, I'm going to place clear tokens on these inactive actions or weapons I can use in the game. These are inactive items. When I activate them, I move them over to the clear thing. You can activate 2 items per turn. At the beginning of your turn, you decide which 2 you want. You can leave it as the same 2 or switch one out or switch them both out for different ones. Whichever one you want to do. And each one does different things. So for instance, one of the things this one does, this one cools down your engine for 1. So if your engine starts to overheat, you can use that. Booster gives you a +1 in movement. Machine gun, you can shoot someone in front of you. Side bumpers, you can crush someone to the side and hurt their shields. What he has a little bit different, he has a flamethrower, which let me show you. They all have basically the same thing, all 3 teams. The flame is a flamethrower. You can hit people from behind. And let's see, this guy has it. This guy has the buzzsaw. And buzzsaw can really hurt someone, tear someone up as well when you're brushing up against them. So there's a lot of neat weapons. Each one's kind of unique, but like I said, all of the teams carry each one of those weapons. It just depends on which driver and which car you want. Now the last thing I'm going to place on there is this gear shifter here. It's just a little clear gear shifter. I place it on the 0, and as you see, every turn I'm going to move up. Now I have a ton of dice here, like red dice, white die. This isn't for moving though. Whenever you shift gears, that's going to tell you how many spaces you're going to move. Now as you see, there's different levels and different symbols here, different dice and whatnot. Now what does all this mean? Well, when you're at a 4 or 5, you have no limits right now. You move 5 spaces and you can shift lanes anywhere you want. You can steer back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want to do. Now once you get up to 6, rules start coming into play. It says here 5 white die. What that means is I'm going to roll 5 white die. And the highest of these rolls is how many lane changes I get to make this turn. Okay, look at that. I rolled a 5 right there. So that's my highest one. I'm going to use that. I can change 5 lanes per turn. But as you see, the faster I get, the more out of control I get. So if I'm at a 9, I'm rolling 2 white die, and I'm only getting the highest out of that, which this time would be 1s. That was a terrible roll. But you see, it gets harder. If I get up to 10, I'm only rolling 1 white die and accepting that roll. Now you see here, then it goes to black. 2, 3, 4, black. What is that? There's no black die in here. What's going on with that? Well, the black die mean you have to roll, if let's say I rolled up to a 12, it has 3 black die there. All right? So what I have to do is I have to roll the white die, 3 white die, and I have to accept the lowest number. So on here, I rolled a 4, 3, and a 3, so it would be a 3. So that means I can only change lanes 3 times. And as you see, there's a lot of obstacles on this board. Now what happens if I cannot change lanes? Well, that's where your steering comes in handy. You can do additional lane changes with your steering. And of course, you're going to run out of steering there. Or you can do brakes if you need to brake. You can also do, like as I said before, turbo shifts. You can shift up your car more than one level. So if I was here and I wanted to shift up to here and here, I can only shift up once, but then use one of my turbo points and move up again. Same thing on brake. Like I said, if I had to move down more than one, I would use another brake and move down more than one if I needed to cool off. Again though, the higher you go, the more hot your engine's going to be. And if you look at this, sometimes you can be in the yellow, the orange, or the red. What does that mean? Well, that's when you throw 1, 2, or 3 of these red die with your white die. So for instance, let's say I'm rolling at a 10 and I'm in the yellow. Well, that means I get to roll 1 white die and 1 red die. So I have to accept the white die, and on the red die, if it's a 1 or a 2, I'm going to hurt my engines. Okay, only 1 for steering, that's not good. But 6, I didn't ruin my engines. If I rolled a 1 or a 2, I would throw up my damage marker and move that up because I would be damaging my engines. And so, like I said, what if I got up to 3, you know, and I roll all 3? Well, look, there's a 2. Those are 3s, that's all right. But if it was a 1, 2, and 2, then that means I damaged it 3 times. So you can really burn out your engines the faster you're going. So the faster you're going, the more chances you have to burn out your engine and the less steering ability you have. I mean, look at that. 5 die. You're going to roll 5 die. If you get to 18, you see there's nothing there. That means you cannot turn at all. You're based off steering. This is suicidal. I don't know why you'd want to do that. But I really like that rule. You can design how many laps you want to do, or if it's a drag race, or if it's a fight to the finish, you know, last person standing. You know, whatever you want, it's totally customizable. It has 2 different rule books, one for base games, one for more advanced. I haven't played the advanced one. I've just played the arcade one, and I have had a ton of fun on this game. And that is Rush and Crush. All right, so final thoughts on Rush and Crush. What do I think about this game? Well, first off, I discovered this game by watching other YouTube channels, and I always saw this game on their bookshelf. And I was wondering, I said, what is that game? What is Rush and Crush? And my curiosity was sated when I actually went to a flea market or used bookstore, and they were selling used board games, and they had this game for like 20 bucks. I went, well, there it is. I keep seeing it. It looks really cool. The artwork looks cool. I kind of like this. Let's check it out. So I bought it for 20 bucks and I opened it up and started playing, and I started seeing how awesome this game is. I really like, it's very simple, easy to learn. At first I was like looking at the board, I was going, what is going on here? You know, how to shift gears, the movement, the dice. I was a little bit confused, but after a while I quickly got into it. Me and my friends had a great time playing Russian Crush. We haven't played it that much since then, just because I was back before I was getting this whole just rush of board games in. But at the times we've been playing it, we've really enjoyed it. And I want to go back to it because I've got kind of a new board game group coming up, and I want to show them this game because it's surprisingly really fun. It's totally customizable. Drag races, you can do all the boards and connect them together. They don't even have to connect. They can be one long Sidewinder thing where you're trying to get to the finish and destroy your opponents. You can do several rounds. You know, we did a little short track the first time we played it, but we were like, oh no, man, we need to get a bigger track now. I love that the faster you go, the more out of control you are. I love picking the weapons because you think you know what weapons you want, but then you didn't pick the right weapon after you moved and went, oh, I should have thought of that. I should have activated the other weapon. Or sometimes you go ahead and shift gears before changing weapons and there's nothing you can do and you just got to go with what you have. The only con I can say is I wish all the vehicles were more different. Like I said, a lot of them have the same abilities. The drivers have a lot of the same abilities. Sure, you could switch them out. That's a great idea. But if you can only switch them out with one other car, that doesn't give you that many options. You can either drive so-and-so in this car or this car. That's nice, but if you could drive them in all 6 cars and all 6 had some unique ability and you found some unique combination you liked, I would like to have more options, I guess, is what I'm saying. But that is a small complaint because this game is extremely, extremely fun. I love this game. So should you get it? Duh, yeah, I think you should. If you find this for cheap, I think, like I said, $20 I thought was a good deal. If you can find it for cheap online or, you know, through used, some places maybe putting this on clearance I've seen in the past. But it is a really fun game. If you were like me who was like curious, is this game worth it? Yes, it is. All right, gamers, that's all I have for now. Until next time, game on.